there. Welcome to a higher dimension. I'm Gloria Danvers from Gloria Danvers Hypnosis in Orlando, Florida, and I'm your host for a higher dimension. As a hypnotherapist, I work with everyday people who are having extraordinary experiences in the fascinating world of past life regression, therapeutic hypnosis, psychic abilities, spiritual awakenings, and paranormal encounters. Every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., join me and my guests as we explore their powerful stories and extraordinary journeys together. And sometimes it's just you and me. Solo episodes where I dive deep into metaphysical insights, spiritual concepts, and mind-expanding ideas that I think you'll find both useful and fascinating. Not only will you hear incredible stories, but we'll talk about what comes next. What happens after these life-shifting moments? How do they change you? Who are you now? What truths have you uncovered? We'll explore big questions through deep, eye-opening conversations that you don't want to miss. If you're interested in working with me and having your own transformational hypnosis experience, you can reach me at gloriadanvershypnosis.com. If you're here, chances are you're ready for something different, ready to explore yourself in the higher realms. So shoot me an email or book a free consultation. Maybe it's time for you to shake up what you think you know about the world, about yourself, who you've been, who your friends really are, and where you're headed. You can catch a higher dimension on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Spotify, YouTube, and iHeart.com. But right now, let's sit back, relax, and uncover the hidden depths of the human experience right here on a higher dimension. When I first began creating a higher dimension, my focus was on past life experience, psychic experience, and the paranormal. But lately I've been guided, as I'm sure you've noticed, to begin offering different views on spirituality, the human experience, duality, and how they are not separate, but part of the intricate dance that we are doing with the universe and with ourselves as multidimensional beings. I will still offer firsthand accounts of the amazing journeys that I get to experience with my clients and friends, but now through a wider lens, one that embraces not just where we've been, but who we are becoming. Welcome back to a higher dimension. I'm Gloria, your host, and today's episode might make your hair stand on end. In a good way, maybe. Have you ever felt haunted by a memory that doesn't belong to you? Or met someone and had the jarring sensation that they're not just familiar, they're you in a different shape? What if you're not just imagining it? What if your soul, your eternal multidimensional essence, has split? What if part of you is living another life right now, somewhere on Earth? This is not science fiction. This is soul reality in a higher consciousness. We know that when we incarnate on this earth, that a very large part of our soul is left in the interlife. We as humans are literally a splinter of our own entirety. And that means if we as souls want to experience another lifetime simultaneously, sequential time is not a factor here, because our human understanding is limited by what we assume. Many people have a hard time believing that they could be in the same time and in the same place, or have overlapping lifetimes in which one part of them was born while the other part is still active on the planet. But there is no boundary or divide in spirit like that. So today we're diving deep into the phenomenon of parallel incarnation, where one soul, one higher self, sends out multiple aspects of itself to different bodies, sometimes living side by side in the same era. sometimes even in the same city. We'll explore how and why this happens, how you might recognize another version of yourself, and what to do with that knowledge when it shows up like a thunderclap in your ordinary everyday life. So we know that the soul is not linear. And we can think of that by beginning to zoom out, way out. A lot of people think that reincarnation is a linear path. You live, you die, you go upstairs, you do your life review, maybe chill in the spirit realm for a while, and then you come back as someone else, in a new body, in a new era. That's comforting, isn't it? It's clean, it's tidy, it's sequential. But the soul does not operate in tidy lines. It's not a filing cabinet. It's more like a field, an expansive, infinite presence that can move in and out of time, in and out of form, in ways that our human mind is not built to fully grasp. Time as we know it is a local phenomenon. It belongs to the third dimension. It's useful for organizing life on Earth, but it does not apply to higher dimensional awareness. To the soul, everything is now. From that perspective, reincarnation isn't linear. It's more like a simultaneous unfolding. Multiple expressions of the same soul can exist side by side in different bodies, exploring different lessons from different angles, like actors playing in different scenes of the same cosmic play. To the higher self, this is as natural as breathing is to us. And this concept exists in many traditions. Eastern philosophies hint at it. Ancient mystery schools taught it. And more recently, mystics like Jane Roberts with Seth and spiritual explorers like Dolores Cannon have all echoed the same thing. You are not a single thread. You are a tapestry unfolding in many different directions. You are a soul that can split and embody more than one lifetime at once. Let that sink in. So if a soul can split and incarnate multiple times in the same window of time, why would it want to? The soul doesn't make choices from fear or ego. It chooses based on growth, expansion, healing, and experience. Here are some of the beautiful reasons this might happen. It may be looking for accelerated evolution. Living one life at a time is like taking one class per semester. But parallel incarnations, that's like enrolling in multiple soul courses simultaneously. Compassion, courage, heartbreak, addiction, spiritual awakening, leadership. Each life is a different classroom. This allows the soul to learn and integrate faster, and from many vantage points at once. Think of it as soul multitasking, not in a scattered way, but in a divinely orchestrated way. Your soul could be exploring opposites. So sometimes the soul splits to study polarities, to understand contrast. Maybe one aspect of you is living in extreme wealth, privilege, or fame, while another is navigating homelessness, addiction, or chronic illness. One self might be deeply introverted and hidden, while another is on stage touching thousands. This isn't a mistake. It's spiritual design. The soul seeks wholeness, and sometimes wholeness means learning through opposition. One part of me needed to heal. Another needed to teach. Another needed to break down. And that is you across lifetimes. In my work doing past life regressions, I have come upon this phenomenon several times. When I do the pre-talk with my past life regressions clients, I ask them to completely suspend every bit of disbelief they might have. Most of my clients have a regression in which they do experience their past lives in a quantifiable, and sequential form. But I have facilitated several sessions in which the lifetimes overlapped or were completely separate in the same time frame. In the regression, it all makes sense, but the minute you start applying human laws to a spiritual experience, it becomes very difficult to understand. And because it becomes difficult to understand, people might say, I don't know that I believe this. How could this happen? But as seekers, we are all learning all the time. And once we accept the possibility that we can exist simultaneously in the same place, in the same time, in two different bodies, then we can look at what the benefits might be and why a soul might want to have two simultaneous expressions in only one time frame. There could be some healing and karma balancing involved. There are times when two parallel incarnations exist to support each other energetically. Even if they never meet in person, they balance one another's karmic load. For example, if one soul aspect dies young or doesn't fulfill a purpose, another may pick up the thread in a different form. It's like the soul saying, this lesson still needs to be completed, so let's try again with a new avatar. This also happens when an unresolved trauma or mission needs layers of attention, not just one linear path. But how do you know if another you is out there? So here's where it gets juicy and personal. You may never consciously meet a parallel self, but your soul knows. And sometimes it leaves breadcrumbs. One could be an instant resonance or aversion. You meet someone and you feel like they are you, or oppose you with an intensity that makes no logical sense. That can't stand them but can't stop thinking about them feeling. That may be your soul looking in a mirror that it was not ready for. Another could be dreams that don't feel like dreams. Not fantasies or stories, dreams that feel real. You wake up and you mourn a lover you've never met, or remember streets you've never walked. Sometimes you're not dreaming at all. You're visiting another life that your soul is living in real time. There could be a constant sense of elsewhere. You may carry a feeling that you're not fully here, not because you're distracted, but because part of your energy is invested somewhere else. You might feel fragmented, even if your life is beautiful. That's not failure. It's evidence of a multidimensional being. You may have gifts that seem strange and foreign. Are you suddenly drawn to music from a country that you've never visited? Seem to speak easily and understand easily a language that you don't remember learning? Skills that seem to come from nowhere. Another version of you may have mastered that already, and the knowledge is leaking through. So now that you've received that knowledge and have accepted the truth of it, what do you do with it? First of all, don't panic. You're not broken. You're expansive. So here's a few ways that you can work with this awareness. You could meditate with intention. You can sit quietly and ask, if there's another version of me walking this earth, I honor you. I welcome your wisdom. May we be aligned in our growth and our purpose. And this can initiate deep inner harmonization. For those of you who journal, you can create a soul journal. You can write down symbols, dreams, names, images, and sensations. Over time, a pattern may emerge. A journal prompt might be, what would my other self want me to know? What would my other self want me to remember? When this knowledge comes through in a regular regression, it adds a whole different dimension to the soul's purpose. Now you could set the intention whether self-guided or through a skilled practitioner, to explore the subtle edges of your identity. You may meet other versions of you. Not metaphorically, actually, it's possible. You can do a simple meditation for acknowledgement and reconnection. Light a candle. Place your hand on your heart and say, across time and space and form, I am whole. I welcome all fragments of myself home and in peace. I honor my soul's decision to have these experiences, and I keep an open mind to all the ways that those fragments might manifest in my life. Even if you don't fully understand what that means, it resonates. You'll feel it. So let me offer you this. You are not just you. You are not just the face in the mirror or the roles that you play. You are a river moving through many bodies, many names, many lives, sometimes gently down the stream, sometimes crashing on the rocks, but always becoming. So if you feel a ghost of yourself in the crowd, if you sense your soul dancing in a stranger's eyes, don't be afraid. That might be you, loving you from a different angle. And when you remember that you are more than one expression, you begin to live with more softness. You judge less. You open more, because you never know when the person that you're healing is also healing you. Thank you for listening today, for feeling, for remembering, for being open to the vast riches of your spirit. You are more than this lifetime, and more than one lifetime is walking beside you. Until next time, stay luminous, be open, and know that all the parts of us, no matter how and when they incarnate, all have the same intention, which is to walk each other home through a higher dimension. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that I've managed to pique your interest, raise your curiosity, give you something to think about, teach you something that you didn't know before, or send you down a major rabbit hole. If you're curious about what I do, shoot me an email. Go on to my website, gloriadanvershypnosis.com, and book a free consultation. Let's discover something about you that you didn't know. I'll be back next week, and until then, stay curious. Stay open to all the things that come in for you through higher dimensions.